Hey, Raindrops, LisaRaye and I are back.
We're back.
Yes, how was your weekend, love?
I had to fly to Chicago and it's extremely cold. I'm not used to that cold. It's not that kind of cold. You can hear it a little bit in my throat a little bit. So I'm like, me. But I had a pipe that burst at home there. And when that happened in Chicago, you got to get right on it. So I went to go check that out, get that fixed, and lock my house down. And
Okay.
yeah.
Well, listen, I like to use other pipes that don't break. So,
Well,
sorry to
so
hear
sort
about
of
your
that.
issue.
It okay. It's kind of late, but lateness is greatness. So bring it on. Pipe it
Bring it.
in.
I like to kick things off with a little, raunchiness. It wouldn't be us, and this wouldn't be shit talk if we didn't do that, Lisa Ray.
I know, right? And I'm right there with you. I could use a pipe or two.
Or
Hmm.
three.
Oh, nope, that's what you said. I don't know about that. See, I'm monogamous. I have to stay, I'm a one man's woman.
You're a one man swim. Okay, okay. Well, listen. The thing about Libras is we're very much like that. We like one person.
Yeah.
We don't like to date around. And what's funny is we really don't like being out there in these streets being a hoe.
Nope. 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 I think it was Andrea that said it the best. My whole days, you can delete it because it's over. It's gone. It's not even. You know what? When I have too many people, it's I don't want to spread myself so thin because I spread myself thin anyway with work and my family and everything else. That's just one other thing that would work my nerve now. And I see the older that I get, I just want certainty. You know what I mean? I just want to know it's you, you're there, what time we go, what time I need to be there, what are we doing? Let's go. I need that. I start seeing this person and seeing this person and call you his name and expect this from you, but you said you were going to get it. And you know what I mean? It's just all too much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think the exact same way. I don't like all the complication.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I like to keep things easy. And plus, for me, I like to make sure that I pour everything into one person versus multiple people. I've never been cut that way. So I think it's a Libra thing. We are very much monogamous people.
And what they say back in the day, I don't want all my friends to be catching the vapors. You know what I'm saying? Like I already have that problem with my guy friends. They just be lingering on and I be thinking, come on, now it's been 10 years. Don't you think I would have folded by now if I was going to? You know what I mean? Don't wait till I get vulnerable and you put your arm around me and I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Cut it out. Stop it. You know what I mean? And then they hear me talk about what I want this list to be, what I'm looking for in a companion, what I have, what my meaning of success is. They know all of that and they just be listening and they go in one ear and out the other because I'm like, that's not you. That
Yeah.
ain't you. You know that ain't you. You ain't got none. The first five things I mentioned, you ain't got it. What are we
Yeah.
talking about here? You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what really makes me think men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Well, look, that segue us into the first thing that we're going to talk about tonight, Lisa Ray, because baby, the streets are blazing when it comes to Tyra Banks and this America's Next Top Model documentary that was on Netflix. I have so many questions about it when it comes to you, but listen, Raindrops, as you know, should talk with Lisa Ray and Carlos King. It's us talking about love, relationships, friendships, and all of the above. The
Mhm.
reason why I wanted to start off with this is because there's a lot of things going on when it comes to the documentary about Black women in business in Hollywood, in
Yeah.
addition to friendships, because there's been some very loud accusations between Mr. J, Miss J, and Tyra Banks that I'll get into next. But first thing first, what are your thoughts on people having these very interesting takes on this documentary? You are a woman who's been in Hollywood for a very long time yourself. You were a part of an era where certain things, doing music videos or starting off acting, where certain things were just normal, and then you realize you got older. Mm,
Right. It's like,
that
wait a
wasn't
minute.
always right. But what were your thoughts on it entirely?
I did not watch the whole documentary. I have been watching clips. I was a fan of the show. and still am because I know what the purpose was behind it and what the intent was for her to, shine some light on these new coming models, you know what I mean? The new standard models. And she wanted to give them opportunity. And for that, she did her thing and she went down in history. I do understand that there's complications when it comes to network, when it comes to the producers, when it comes to your set, when it comes to, coming up with a storyline and being able to catch and grab the audience. I understand all of that roller coaster. But you're right. Because of these times now, these times are different. You were coming from a time where people are not just watching the drama, they're recording the drama, and then the hurt that comes with that drama, you're watching it and you're not doing anything about it though.
Mhm.
So therefore, that's where the mental illness come in at because while you're laughing at something, thinking it's funny that this girl fell and hit her head, you didn't really realize that hit on the head traumatized her, and now she's thinking about this trip over and over and over again and what made her trip and that everybody was laughing at her and watching her and not helping. That takes a toll on you. That's what society we're in now. But even back then, what's right is what's right. If you see somebody getting harmed and hurt, would you not step in and go, are you okay with this? Are you all right? Because if you're not all right, this is your storyline. This is your feelings. This is your headspace. This is your business. Because if you don't want this, let me pull the plug and let me fight for you. Because if you fought for them in the beginning and that's what the overall senses of the show was about, why and when did you stop fighting for them? That's my question. you know,
Do you think a lot of the backlash is unfairly pointed at Tyra Banks because she was the creator of the show, the EP of the show, and the face of it? Or do you think that, being in this business for a long time too, that is what she said that bosses even have bosses?
right. I was going to say she can't take the, accountability totally by herself and the responsibility because you do have a boss. And then your contract is on the line, which means your money is on the line and your career is on the line and your next step is on the line because no matter what, black or white or whatever, and especially though minorities, we're
Hmm.
up against so much till that money is feeding your family, it's feeding you. So if you ain't killing nobody, you tend to think, okay, let everybody be strong enough to fight their own fight because I'm gonna pass the torch to you and go ahead. You go ahead and do it. So there's some things that she could have done some things about, but when she and as she found her power, that's when she realized, well, wait, let me start pushing the envelope a little bit more because she wasn't fighting the same way the first year as she was able to fight for the third and fourth year when those numbers was proven that, hey, this is a good show. And now you're well liked because you're well received. That's different power. But if you go to Les Moonves and say, hey, I want this girl, and he says, bottom line, no, that's pretty much it. I did see on the documentary that she did have a back and forth with Les, and she said that, she went there. That's probably her last time. You know what I mean? That probably right there made him go, we might have a problem out of this one. So her getting inkling of that was like, okay, I'm gonna have to tread lightly. And you have to pick your battles, like don't sweat the small stuff. So I don't know if all of these things were put in the category of small because to me, a lot of the things were not small. A lot of the things for me was like, oh my God, why didn't you help her? For instance, the young lady that was in the jacuzzi with all
Yeah.
the guys. You know what I mean? And so once you get a little bit of that, don't you realize, hey, this ain't really this girl. I've been with her for the last couple of weeks and she's never acted like this before. And oh, yeah, on camera and off camera, she did have a few extra drinks, which can make her feel a little loopy in this hot water. Because now she with this one, that one now, this don't seem right. And she has a boyfriend. So let's cut this. Let's make sure that we are checking the integrity of not just ourselves, but the show and for her. And you did not do that. And so that to me is like, girl, really? But I tell you this, I bet you now that she's a mom, she understands more than she did before because something happens to you when it happens to you. Because I've had some
Yeah.
double standards myself and like, oh, did I say that? Yeah, I did. It's like, oh, I changed my mind, kind of thing. So I'm sure with all this backlash, I'm sure they said that she did not apologize. She held her own on the documentary. But now that this keep coming and people are calling her fake and you a liar and this is not true, and they were saying fuck you, Tyra. They was like really on her. I'm sure she's like, ooh, so that damage control meeting that she probably is having with her people got to be real.
It was jarring, Lisa Ray, because number one, she didn't have to agree to do it. This was not something that she was a part of in terms of producing. It was something that they were going to do without her anyway. She said yes to it. The moment I saw her in the
That's
trailer, I
interesting
said,
that you said that. That's interesting that you said that she
yeah.
wasn't going to do it and they want to do it without her. So I'm sure then that thought was, well, let me set the own tone to my narrative then if they gonna do it on their own. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that okay, then you get a
Yes.
chance, Tyra.
Yes, but the thing is this, she came across so robotic and she came across so much like, well, that happened, but you guys wanted it. You guys, the more crazy it got, the more you guys wanted. We were trying to keep up. And for me, it was just sort of like, at no point, Lisa Ray, did she say anything along the lines of, look, I got it wrong. I'm sorry to each girl. She never once did that, and that to me was the unfortunate part of the lack of accountability that she had. And then at the end, Lisa Ray, she said, "Well, we're going to see things differently because I can't wait for you guys to see all the changes we're making to Top Model Cycle 25."
Plug, shameless plug, huh? Oh, uh, distasteful. Well, and ain't she been acting a little odd lately anyway? They've been, coming for her for a minute, the way she looked and then the way she was all, I think she was doing something and she had some look that made her look out of space, kind of thing, or spacey. Same thing. So, I don't know, but let me tell you something. Menopause is real. Things that be happening to our bodies, and then it's like, duh, I forgot. Did you really? Did you really? Or is it a little touch of dementia already? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I think that they're not gonna let up on her. I think they're gonna hold her accountable. I think, this ice cream parlor that she has, she gonna be melting all over it as well. I don't know. I'm just not sure. I don't know. And I get it. I mean, I get that we can push the envelope from things that happened before to now. Because, I mean, look at the things that's going on now. You would think that none of this type of stuff will be on TV as well. But it's
Yeah.
every time you turn the TV on, I'm like, really another reality show with some bull? Come on. Where's the
Hmm.
positivity in this? Where's it? We're searching for that. And, reality TV is one to hell. It has.
Oh yeah, no, the genre definitely is taking a different turn, and that's why when she announced she was doing another season of it, it's sort of like, look, what you had, Tyra Banks was lighting in a bottle.
Yeah.
It was definitely something at that time that made sense in 2003. The industry was different. You did represent what the modeling industry is. You know firsthand, Lisa Ray, how cutthroat that business is when it comes to the harsh realities you get, whether it's an
Mhm.
audition or go see, and how these casting directors and agencies, they really do tell you to your face how they feel about you. Lose weight, do this, do that. So she definitely did her big one there. But social media is around. I just feel like 23 years later, I just don't think we need it.
Oh, well, I won't say that
Okay, what you
because
think,
it
honey?
still gives opportunity, you know, and she is big enough to help change the standard of that opportunity still.
Hmm.
She's giving chances to even I think she had a season or an episode of the women that were under 5'7". Now you
Yeah.
know that's unheard of. And if nothing else, it gives the women confidence. There was a lot of girls that I saw that was chosen that I probably would have seen walk down the street and I wouldn't have thought twice about her being a model. But once Tyra had her and Miss J and Nigel and they put them all together with these photo shoots, I was like, that's the same girl? Like, wow. You know what I mean? So she had to have walked out of there different to be able to put on a coat of armor for the world out there. You know what I mean? So for that, I like. And for that, if she can keep that coined and keep that in the show, absolutely. You gotta have some kind of challenge and some kind of drama in there. I mean, to me, I don't know. I'm strong. So you just ain't gonna pass me the buck and I go, hey, this is a quarter. It's not happening. I'm not gonna, you're not gonna tell me the sky's blue. And then I look up and I go, now you know damn well it ain't blue. And then I'm gonna try to convince you the truth because I'm gonna think you're a damn fool. I'm gonna try to help you now. So it's like, hey, you really think that? I'm gonna have to commit you. Hey, we need a psychologist on set. I need to look out for my sister. To me, that should be the flip. That should be the change. She needs to be more heart searching and looking for the heart in this.
Yes, I agree with that. And listen, one thing that I'm going to talk to when it comes to friendships, because we're both in the industry and we know there's a difference between industry friends
Hmm.
and real life friends. So one of the biggest things that came out of the documentary Lisa Ray was the fact that Mr. J, who was the creative director, said that he was Tyra's makeup artist. Growing up in the business, they became best friends. He would sleep over her house all the time. They were very close. He
He
got
was
the job.
cute too. He is so yummy.
Yes, I
Oh,
mean,
honey, he came with it. Just cute. The camera loves you, honey. The camera loves you.
fine, just the ultimate pretty boy.
Yeah.
And he said that, listen, after 8 seasons, he wanted to leave the show. He said that he sent her an email. She responded 3 days later saying, I am disappointed. They begged him to give them one more season. He said yes to it. And he said the first time he saw Tyra after the email was on set. And he thought, like, okay, well, I guess we're good. And he said, Lisa Ray, that she will only talk to him if the cameras were rolling. And that when they would have a break, he would try to talk to her, and he said she was stone faced, looking straight ahead, ignoring him. And then when they yelled action, she'd be like, "Hey, so," and that to this day, they have not spoken. And when they asked her about him, she said, "No, I don't want to talk that up. I should call him." And he revealed last week on Entertainment Tonight that she has yet to call him. Um, let's talk about that first, and I'll get you the other update.
I got two things. You know, if this ever happened to you where you knew you were wrong in a situation and you had everything in you was like call and you intend to call and then you get ready to pick up the phone and another call come in, so now you on that call, you hang up and now you go ahead on and finish your schedule and then you're like, I'm gonna call tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes and something else comes up that you didn't even know was on your schedule. You're like, damn, I can't talk because I'm around all these people, so let me wait till get home. When you get home, you realize it's late and it's later where that person is, and that's like, it's too late to call now. I'm gonna call tomorrow. That happens after a week. Now you're too embarrassed to call because now it's like it's been a week, and now I'm gonna have to explain why it's been a week. Oh my God, now it's 2 weeks. You know what? Shame on me. I forget it. They're not gonna even accept my call. And then you start in your head playing this, and then now it's a month, 2 months, and it's like I'm just a messed up person. I just should have, and I didn't, and I just can't now. I just can't. That has happened to me on some serious shit. That has really made me go, I know, I should have called. I should have. I just didn't feel like dealing with the drama. Is what my
That's real. Okay, that's
explanation
real.
was, and it was. I was like, it didn't really have nothing to do with me, but me calling you would have allowed us to talk about it and then talk about that person, and I didn't want to because it was between y'all and it would have been too much for me, so I just stepped out of it. Now that I should have called you on and said, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with this. That I should have done. I didn't even do that either, you know what I mean? So to reel it back, let me say that a good old queen could always read you in a good old sarcastic way. When those cameras start rolling and Tyra wouldn't have spoke to me, I'd have been like, oh no, wait, you're talking to me now? Because girl, 5 minutes before the camera was on, we weren't talking and I wasn't sure if we were cool or not. We okay? Are you sure? Oh, give me a hug. All right. Mwah, mwah. Okay, we good. We good. We good. We good. All right, let's go then. I'm back. You back. We back. Anyway, would have been the narrative to that. And I would have called her out even on set because had you wanted to leave 8 years, I mean, the 8 years that you did and wanted to leave,
Hmm.
having that extra year wouldn't have been nothing to you because it would have been like, we doing this or we not? Because I'd already told you that I didn't want to do this. I'm here on this last year because of you. And you acting shady, bitch. What is wrong with you? What is going on? Talk to me because I'm here. Because I may not need to go out there. What's up? Period. We're not playing no damn games. I'm not playing no games with you. And you, my friend, I know how to get to you. I know how to get your attention. So fuck the set. Even if I wouldn't have been able to see her on the set, I'd have been like, hey,
Yeah.
what's up? Leave a note in your car. I see you. Look behind you. Oh, hey. You know what I mean? Like, that's what kind of girl I'm gonna pull up on you. I'm gonna pull up on you. Because just in case you didn't, you didn't have an opportunity to call, like all those excuses I gave before, maybe all that happened. So, da-da, here I am. You ain't gotta look for me.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure he know how to get to her. I'm sure. But I'm sure he probably took the high road and said, you know what? I see your true colors. Let me get my last checks from this opportunity and I'm out. Because when somebody show you their ass to kiss, then it's like, ooh, got it. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's nothing else to say about that.
Oh no, nothing at all. Mm-mm. And if she did and she would have gave them crocodile tears, it'd have been like, do I feel it? Cry a little bit more. Cry me a river. And then I'll see. Okay. It means nothing. Nope, I'm not touched yet. Nope, not hitting. Whatever. I mean, but they were close. So
I
he
know.
knows that, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand how he allowed her to get away with that.
It's so sad because the thing is, it does remind me of just being in this industry, and you do think people are your friends, Lisa Ray. And then unfortunately, when business get involved, it does remind you that, wow, I guess we were friends or we were, but business got into it. Is it hard in this business to mix business and pleasure when it comes to friendships?
I hate to say that, but it seems like it. And to me, it's nothing that a good old conversation can't handle. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're a woman of your word and a man of your word and you standing 10 toes down on it, you said what you said, say it again then. You know what I mean? And say it to my face because then
Yeah.
I can understand our language from our friendship. But when I hear from someone else and they putting 20 on 10 or whatever, let's just have a conversation. We can absolutely walk away from that conversation saying, I don't agree, and I feel the same way still. And I think our friendship is severed. You can do that. You can say that. But sometimes people want and need closure. So it's almost like, well, what did I do to you? Because I want to know that because if nothing else, it may give me an opportunity to say, oh, no, I didn't mean to. Or it came across wrong. Or I'm sorry. Or not to take it into your next relationship, your next friendship, your next
Yeah.
situationship or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I have absolutely learned a lot through the years of holding my tongue and feeling like I shouldn't have, or I've even said too much. You know what I mean? And I go, oh, I shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? I've learned through the years from my mistakes and from other people making mistakes. That's why I love that we share stories, that we talk about our experiences, because from those experiences, you're able to say, I got caught up. That happened to me. So don't let it happen to you. And it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Okay. Because it gives you different perspective.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I all day long, especially now that this documentary is over, she should say in her mind, damn, maybe I didn't mean it to come across like that. I do owe him an explanation, an excuse, an apology, a conversation at least.
At
You just
least.
let it go, 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 and then you just say, what, we outgrew each other? I mean, okay, tell me. Tell me how we outgrew each other. Let me know so I can go, oh, I get it. Okay, maybe we grew apart. Okay, and I still may not understand. But she didn't do that. And I don't understand that how you can make money with your friends and then all of a sudden you go,
And for over 20 I want to say 15 years they haven't spoken.
what?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
15 years have not
Oh no,
spoken.
that's it. I would feel like something's going on there too. I would feel like, well, actually, I would feel like fuck you after all this time.
I mean, I just be like, 'cause the thing is this, you show me who you are and I believed you. And it's one thing for me, Lisa Ray, if that was an isolated situation, but Mr. J, the tall chocolate guy with the long legs, teaching the girls how to model walk, he unfortunately suffered a stroke back in 2022, and he was in the hospital for a year recovering. At the time of the documentary that was filmed last year, he was unable to walk. So he did his interviews at that time, not being able to walk. Since then, as of today, he can't walk, but he needs full time therapy and he has a GoFundMe account. One revelation he said was, Tyra Banks never once visited him in the hospital. And for me, that's when it was sort of like, this kind of shows me who your character is, Tyra. And that to me is the sad part.
Now, I got a situation with that too. Death, when my father died, something happened to me with death, blood, needles, hospitals, doctors, smocks, dentists, all of that made me feel like, oh, a hospital to me is where sick people are and that where people die. So I equated that with me walking in the hospital. So when I walk in the hospital, it's like, you know what I mean? And I am not, I was like, I'm not the kind of celebrity that's going to read books to the kids in the hospital, in the cafeteria. That ain't me. You know what I mean? Don't ask me to come to St. Jude anything because that's not me. You know what I mean? It was like I would read in the library, kind of thing. Because I knew my boundaries. However, if you got a good friend and your mama or your relative is in the hospital and you think that that might be the last time you see that person and that person needs some encouragement and some get up and go and you got a little ounce of it that you can give, bitch, don't you owe that to me? After all the years that we've been together, can't you give me some of that? Because we all can be up together. That ain't when I need you because we both up and evenly yoked. Then I need you when I'm down. I need you when I don't know to ask you that I need you. I don't know. I didn't know to ask. But damn it, you on the other end, you see me just wilting away. You see me in this hospital. You see that I'm not in the places that I was. You see me. Come see me. So I can't wait to see what the excuse is for that one. I don't know. Did she hear some things that they said about her? And she said, "Oh, they don't like me." So I didn't think that he would wanted to see me in the hospital. I don't know, but still, even a phone call.
Yeah,
Even a
that's
phone
just
call.
something. I listen, there's not one person, and again, we're all different.
No
We're all different.
flowers, no nothing, no balloons. Hey, I came, I can't come, but I'm thinking about you. Something, anything, nothing, and a GoFundMe.
He
As much money
he
as
said
Tyra
she
made, that's too much. She should be writing a check, helping out some kind of way. I do
yeah,
feel
she owned 25% of the show. So she owned 25% of Top Model and LisaRaye. That show had multiple versions where they had, you know,
180 countries.
yes, yes, yes,
Yes, that's a lot of
bank
money.
bank rolling.
Yeah, yeah. Not
And
to mention a hand in the girls' careers. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and she was still
that's the part that was to me the saddest because even if we had a falling out and you had a struggle, you could have died. And because let's be clear, and this is no shade to her, I give her all the props for creating something that is a powerhouse as a black woman in 2003 at that time, where all
working.
the networks turned you down and UPN said yes to you. But let's be clear, you did not carry that show on your own. You
Mhm.
were a force into that show, but let's be clear, it definitely was Mr. J, Miss J, Nigel Barker that really helped us continue to watch it as well. So
Yeah,
all the money you made, the thing is, listen, you don't owe anybody nothing. I do believe in when it comes to like if they had a check and you got your check good. However, if you know this person fell on hard times because of a health crisis,
yeah, yeah.
the least you could do is say, listen, we ain't got to be friends, but here you go.
I just don't know. Do they? I don't know why she'd even clear up that it wasn't her decision to get rid of them because seems
She
like they
did.
didn't even know
In
that.
her defense, she said that.
She said that.
She said that it wasn't her decision, that it was a powers that be. Now, look, they said she's lying about it, that she did not want to take a pay cut. And the other alternative allegedly was we have to get rid of three of them. And she allegedly was like, all right.
Um,
Yeah.
that could be pretty hard, that you've worked and this is your show, and then they're actually gonna pull the plug because of, the other characters, and then they wanna, they've brainwashed you or made you believe that they can make the show even more interesting and that you won't miss these three. Let's try something different because the time has changed. If they
Yeah.
convinced her of that, then it's almost like, let's see, because every show comes to an end. Every opportunity comes to an end. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
just because I think that the show had won on 25 years, I don't believe that it had to go on 25 years with the four of them. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You can stick in some other people and give other people opportunity. You know what I mean? But I think that that's still a conversation with your friends to be able to say, "Hey guys, you've been on here, for 8 years, and I know you said you wanted to leave and you came back for this 1 year, but I think you were right. And the studio is saying
Mm-hmm.
this, saying that. So, are you okay with us going in another direction and?" Maybe I have them pay you a little extra severance pay or something to make sure that you're okay. You know what I mean? Because she did look out for them for the last 8 years for him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this new thing with Miss J, I don't. I don't know how she gonna make that right. This is a illness. This is a sickness. This is a health issue, and that's nothing to play with. So he
Yeah.
couldn't have been lying about that. So why you didn't visit? Why you didn't come to his aid? Why didn't you be there as a friend or even someone that had a relationship with him? Death, being on your deathbed, that makes people go, oh, I need to bury the hatchet. Life
Mm-hmm.
too short. That's when you say that. Life too short. There ain't nothing that we going through that I'm gonna wish you harm. So, hey, is it anything I can do? Like, where's the humanity in that? And you want us
Exactly.
to believe that you're this, charismatic person that's, all got it together and whatever, and you don't know how to break bread or break love, or your soul is not feeling a certain kind of way because of your friend. I, beg to differ. That makes
Yeah.
me look at you differently. Like, mm.
Yeah, no. So, look, speaking of friendships that didn't last either with Tyra Banks, Kimora Lee Simmons, they were best friends at one point. They apparently aren't anymore. But when it comes to Kimora Lee Simmons, LisaRaye, I have a story for you that I know the raindrops. Oh, by the way, your fans commented and they definitely want to be called the Stingrays.
Oh, okay. Y'all sure better be stinging when I ain't stinging, because they be stinging me. I be like, oh, okay. Okay, so
Yes, it was between that and diamonds, but they definitely were like, "We are the Stingrays."
I
So there
like
you go.
stingrays. Okay, stingrays, let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, I like that.
So, Lisa Ray, check this out. Kimora Lee Simmons is reportedly refusing to vacate a $25 million mansion that she lives in that was purchased by her estranged second husband with money he stole from a Malaysian sovereign wealth fund. Her ex-husband, well, estranged husband, is convicted felon Tim Lesnar, who purchased the home in 2017 using some of the $4.5 billion he embezzled from them. Allegedly, they are saying that Kimora Lee Simmons refuses to leave the property because allegedly she is saying, I did nothing wrong.
Here's the thing though, when you're married, I got caught up in that too. You know what I mean? When you're married, you are as one. And even when I was in Turks and Caicos with, my ex-husband's legal issues, it was more like our accounts were together, and I kept feeling like, y'all know I don't know nobody in Prague that I done sent $1 million to. What are you talking about? As an example, allegedly. Um, and they didn't really want me, but I was the middle person involved, because after all, how many men do lean on their wives with a plan or a scheme to say, look, I'm going to get caught up. But if we put all the money and the assets in your name and you go get an offshore account or you go back to the States, well, there's always a plan or some sort. So, as the authorities, they got to look at everybody involved. So when I came back and my assets was frozen and I had nothing, it was like, oh, I got to start completely over. And I had left my career. So I'm saying that to say that, with Kimora being his wife, it became community money. And so it depends on what the government is going to say about, hey, this money is proven that this was money that he stole. If that's the case and they're going to take the house back, it's going to be nothing she's going to be able to do.
I know that's the crazy part. I mean, listen, this man, I mean, he's in jail as we speak, right? And a trial is set tomorrow.
Oh,
Is a civil dispute over the possession, title, and liability of the legally contested home. So she is dealing with this as we speak, and they are saying that this house was, illegally purchased with stolen money that he currently is in jail for. So it is going to be sad, but you know what it reminded me of?
mm.
It's and I would love to get your thoughts on this. I tell my girlfriends nowadays, LisaRaye, listen, it's amazing to date a guy with means, but baby, just make sure he has the character that really warrants y'all to be together. You can enjoy being spoiled,
But you
but
don't know that yet. You don't know
but
that because while you're dating, everything is all good because that's the beginning stages of it. That's why you said I want more of this, so I'm gonna say I do. So when you say I do and you start living your life together, you still want him to be the man. And in my case, this man ran. It was the president of the country. So me coming in trying to go over his business was like, oh, you already got it because you already have been doing this. So I can just add to, and I add to the businesses that we had had. But make no mistake about it, I saw how he moved. I liked how he moved because that's what attracted me to him. I want to still move the same way. So whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. I don't know. I didn't run the country. That wasn't part of our pillow talk on what his decisions was going to be the next day. But I could tell when stuff started getting funky. But even that, I'm thinking that he's problem solving. I don't know that because sometime when you marry a wealthy man, your role as the wife is to keep the house together, keep the family together, and keep him happy.
Mhm.
That's a
Right.
role and that's real. And it's a job. And it's not easy, especially when you have someone that is so successful. They coming in, coming and going, and you're a company, and then you're not. And then you're supposed to belong, and then you're not. It's boundaries, but oh, it's so much there. So I'm sure that if she would have known, she wouldn't have said, oh, you know what, let me be a part of this Ponzi scheme over here. You know what I'm saying? I've never done it before. You know what I mean? Never had to deal with it because Russell didn't put me through that shit. But okay, you know what? I'm willing to do it with you. No, you know what I mean? So people kill me saying, you should have known. There were little signs, but by the time I saw the signs, I was trying to put two and two together myself. Then by the time I was like, oh, snap, this shit is really happening. Then I'm caught up too. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm trying to get my own stuff out of this because then it's like do or die. Like, I ain't have shit to do with none of this. Hey, my name, I'm Bennett. I ain't in it. You know what I mean? Let me go back to the States to love LisaRaye. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. So let's stay tuned and see what Kimora does. If she gonna stay or she gonna have to be evicted.
How can women, LisaRaye, before they get married, are there any telltale signs that you can warn women who are dating wealthy men what they can look out for in case he is involved in some shady financial scams?
First of all, he's not gonna let you know because a real man is just like a drug dealer. The girlfriend don't know about his drop off and his people that he get his supply from. He keeps her out of that because that's the man's thing. That's his position. Let me tell you, I have you know, had a drug dealer or two, back in my day. And I didn't know and ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I can't tell you. And one of the officers that questioned me was like, "Well, you didn't see him getting up going to work every day." I said, "I don't see you getting up going to work every day either." You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you ain't working. You know what I mean? I maybe I did turn the other cheek or whatever. Yeah, okay, I did know, but still, I had never seen anything. You know what I mean? So that therefore I could never be in the middle of anything. And I'm sure he thought about that. If they question you, you ain't gonna even be able to say anything because you ain't never seen nothing. He kept me out of it. So your businessman is the same thing. They're not gonna let you know so that you under pressure and you gotta tell. No, I'm gonna keep you out of it, period. So it's protection is how they're thinking about it. So I just have to say that even me, now I'm more of a businesswoman now. So and
Mm,
I've always made money with any of my men. I've always brought a lot to the table when it comes to sitting down saying, hey, this is what we can do and this is how we can do it. And these are my ideas. And I've always done that. And I'm not going to change that because I like to make money as well. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
like to be smart and feel smart and have that knowledge. And that just is a turn on to me, you know? So that's why I date business people because they move differently, you know? But look, I sidetracked. It's my menopause. What was I saying?
No, it's okay. It's okay. So the thing is this. So
What's the
unfortunately,
telltale signs? Right.
are there any
I don't know
telltale
no
signs?
telltale signs. I,
Okay.
I I don't know that. I would say get involved in as much business as you can. But when you get married, y'all are locked together. They're gonna reel you in because I had to prove that I didn't have nothing to do with any of the things that they were looking for. It was like Prague. I don't have no friends in Prague. You know what I mean? Like I ain't going over there visiting anybody. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot that I had to debunk and say, hey, no, that wasn't me. So even keeping a separate account means nothing. I didn't have an account that I kept writing checks out of. You know what I mean? But that account was our money. So I don't know. It's a I don't know. I was gonna say let God tell you, but I don't know. Sometimes he don't be listening to me. You know what
You
I
are so
mean? Do you hear me praying the same prayer for the last couple years? You know what I'm saying? It's like I was mad for a minute. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be trusting you because you ain't talking to me, and I don't know what's the plan. I can't move. You know what I mean? I know you got me. You woke me up this morning. Thank you for that. You know what I mean? But I want to thank you for a whole bunch of other things too.
I
Can that
can't
come?
with you, Lisa
Come on through with
Ray.
those things so I can really thank you, really get on my knees. Hello, hey,
Yeah.
get on the knees. But then right now, mama ain't getting on the knees. My knees is unscathed and I don't have no nothing. So my prayers is on
Knock
my
on.
back. Hey, I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the God wants me to get on my knees.
I
I don't know.
love it. I love you. Okay, our last topic of the day is a recent podcast host did an interview. It went viral over the weekend where he was talking about the complexities between wealthy men, wealthy women. And he made a comment that Beyonce could work at McDonald's and Jay-Z would marry her, but that the opposite is not, could never happen. Do you agree with that statement?
I do. I do for a lot of different reasons because if you want to take it back to the Bible since we was talking about God here, really the man is supposed to be the provider while the woman is the one that's taking care of the household. However, we are into new age times now. So women are sharing in the responsibility of taking care of home. The men are sharing in the responsibility and taking care of the children. We're coexisting together.
Mhm.
But you cannot deny that thrones have been denounced for pussy all the way. The Taj Mahal was built for a woman. And I think they never ended up moving in. You know what I'm saying? But a woman is to push that man forward, to make him realize that he is the king that he is and needs to be able to be that of the kingdom. So you can't rule and you don't know how to be a ruler. You can't.
Mm.
You need to go out there, get your feet wet, make a few mistakes, fall down, and then I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna brush you off and I'm gonna send you back out there, babe. And you're gonna look at me for the love and the support that I'm giving you and say, you believe in me, you trust me. Well, I fall short, you got my back. Okay, babe, I'm going back out there again. I'm going back out there again. And he goes because that's where that saying is behind every successful man is a
Hmm.
strong woman. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of times you don't hear about the role of the woman and what and how she ignites him, but back in the day, women ruled even when we were concubines back in the biblical days, and you wanted to choose which one of us could spend the night with you that night. You know why? Because pussy still ruled. That's why. The good looks, the big butt, the voluptuous breast, the whatever it is that we have that makes you say, I like to sit and look at her. I like to sit and look in her eyes because it says a lot about her soul. I like to have conversation with her because you know what? She makes me laugh. You know what?
Yeah.
She holds me accountable. Whatever those small nuances are that women bring to the table, that you can't pay for.
Mhm.
And we can't pay for what the man is supposed to have and get as well. So we all have a role to be able to bring us together as family. And that's what it is. So I don't want you to look at that as she pushing me. Well, won't you do it yourself? Why don't you get out there? No, babe. I'm still holding it down. I'm just supporting you. And that's what that is. So you're right. A man can marry the secretary and the nanny and the babysitter because normally they do. It's normally the one that they mess around with because now you too used to me because I'm
Yeah.
accessible to you all the time. So now the sneaky part of it is let me go and sneak around with her. Then the revolving door happens and now she's the wife and then you looking at the other babysitter or whatever. You know what I mean? But men can bring a woman up. That's the times. That's how it is. But it's most likely for us to bring you all the way up. Hey, Ashford and Simpson. Remember Ashford and Simpson? She
Absolutely.
found Ashford in the park, Central Park. He was homeless. She took him to church, realized he had a voice, started singing, started cleaning him up, started dating. The rest was history.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And so he spoke about it. He would say, she loved me. She saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I had to just
Wow.
trust that. He said, man, I'm glad that I did. That right
Wow.
there is that's that love. You can't buy that. She couldn't probably even explain that to him. She saw something in him that made her push him to where they were in their careers and what and how they established what they've established. Beautiful story, you know? But we
Mm.
don't have a lot of those, but we have many. So I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I'm saying it's likely. So we want our man to be a man. We want to see you get out there and conquer. We want to feel the protection before I get involved. You saying what's the telltale signs? Weakness. If you weak, I feel like, oh, well, we ain't gonna be able to make it then because if you weak and I gotta fight my battles and your battles, that's a whole lot all the time because you got a Napoleon complex or you just don't know that you are man enough to be able to achieve it. No, babe, at some point you're gonna have to realize that you are who you are to be able to conquer and do what you're supposed to do. If not, then I'm gonna either have to put you in therapy or have you talk to God in another way differently than what he talks to me because he ain't talking to me right now. I need
I can't.
I'm just kidding. No, sort of, kind of. I am waiting for some things, and he ain't. I don't know. I done wrote it. I got vision boards all around this mother. I'm just like, hey, how about this right here? What about this picture right here? You know what I'm saying? That's been on there for 10 years. Okay, I digress. But you got to make sure that the man is manly. And if there's, some weakness there, if I can't help you bring that up and you fall short of some things that I'm strong in and you're not taking that, then after a while, it's nothing I'm going to be able to say or do. And
Mm.
you have to realize then this lies in you, babe, and you have to feel the confidence enough to know that you can succeed the way that the world needs you to succeed in this family. You know?
LisaRaye, you cooked once again. I need for the stingrays and the raindrops to let us know what you thought about this. So listen, let us know in the comments. Does Tyra owe the Jays anything at this point? When it comes to Kimora Lee Simmons, should she get herself out the house so that she won't have to suffer through any more liability potentially? Or should she stay in the crib? And last but not least, when it comes to the statement, if Beyonce worked at McDonald's, Jay-Z would marry her. Could the opposite be true? Let us know in the comments and make sure to like, share, and subscribe. LisaRaye and I will be back next week to
Yes, we
talk
will.
about more on Shit Chat.
Hey! Shit, chat, chat, chat. Shit, chat.
All right, thank you, Boo Thang.
Thank you, love.
I love you both. All right, bye bye.
Okay. Bye.